Top 25 US VHS rentals, August 2nd, 1980. Down 12 to 25, Emmanuel. Lets you feel good without feeling bad. The wife of a French diplomat in Bangkok embarks on a voyage of self-discovery. Down 7 to 24, Smokey and the Bandit. Time to take to the road for a quiet little drive in the country. Or not. The Bandit is hired on to run a tractor-trailer full of beer over state lines, in hot pursuit by a pesky sheriff. New entry at 23, the main event. A glove story. A bankrupt entrepreneur attempts to recoup some of her losses by getting a washed-out boxer she picked up as a tax loss back into the ring, an idea her protege isn't fond of. Another new entry at 22, Escape from Alcatraz. No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz, and no one ever will. Alcatraz is the most secure prison of its time. It is believed that no one can ever escape from it, until three daring men make a possibly successful attempt at escaping from one of the most infamous prisons in the world. New entry at 21, Boys from Brazil. If they survive, will we? A Nazi hunter in Paraguay discovers a sinister and bizarre plot to rekindle the Third Reich. Up 2 to 20, Godfather 2. Sicily 1912, Little Italy, New York 1915, Las Vegas 1958, Cuba 1959, Washington 1962, Miami 1972, the rise and fall of the Corleone Empire. The early life and career of Vito Corleone in the 1920s New York is portrayed while his son, Michael, expands and tightens his grip on the family crime syndicate. Up 14 to 19, Catch 22. The anti-war satire of epic proportions. A military pilot makes a valiant effort to be certified insane during World War II, so that he can be excused from flying missions. But there's a catch. Up 10 to 18, MASH. It's MASH hysteria. The staff of a Korean war field hospital uses humour and hijinks to keep their sanity in the face of the horror of war. Down 7 to 17, 1941. Paranoia meets pandemonium. Hysterical Californians prepare for a Japanese invasion in the days after Pearl Harbor. Down 2 to 16, Jaws. Amity Island had everything. Clear skies, gentle surf, warm water. People flock there every summer. It was the perfect feeding ground. When a massive killer shark unleashes chaos on the beach community off Long Island, it's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. New entry at 15, The Onion Field. What happened in the onion field is true, but the real crime is what happened after. LA cop Ian Campbell is killed in the onion fields outside Bakersfield, but legal loopholes could keep his kidnappers from receiving justice, and his partner is haunted by survivors' guilt. Down 5 to 14, Halloween. The trick was to stay alive. 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night 1963, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield to kill again. Down 6 to 13, The Jerk. From rags to riches to rags. A simple-minded, sheltered country boy suddenly decides to leave his family home to experience life in the big city, where his naivete is both his best friend and his worst enemy. Down 4 to 12, Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks and the West together for the last time. In order to ruin a western town and steal their land, a corrupt politician appoints a black sheriff, who promptly becomes his most formidable adversary. Non-mover at 11 for Grease. Grease is the word. Good girl Sandy Olsen and greaser Danny Zuko fell in love over the summer. When they unexpectedly discover they're both in the same high school, will they be able to rekindle their romance? Up 6 to 10, Norma Ray. The story of a woman with the courage to risk everything for what she believes is right. A young single mother and textile worker agrees to help unionize her mill despite the problems and dangers involved. Down 4 to 9, The Deer Hunter. One of the most important and powerful films of all time. An in-depth examination of the ways in which the Vietnam War impacts and disrupts the lives of several friends in a small steel mill town in Pennsylvania. Up 4 to 8, The Godfather. An offer you can't refuse. The aging patriarch of an organized crime dynasty transfers control of his clandestine empire to his reluctant son. Down 1 to 7, The Electric Horseman. He's a washed-up loser, but sometimes losers can be heroes. A rodeo star past his prime steals his company's horse and rides into the desert, accompanied by a feisty reporter. Up 9 to 6, A Star is Born. The evergreen Oscar winner ablaze with music and stardust. Has-been singing idol John Norman Howard falls in love with a young, up-and-coming songstress, Esther Hoffman, in Frank Pearson's version of the classic love story updated to the rock and roll era. Up 14 to 5, Animal House. We've got to do something. You know what we're going to do? Toga Party! At a 1962 college, Dean Wormer is determined to expel the Delta fraternity, but those troublemakers have other plans for him. Down 1 to 4, The Muppet Movie. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Kermit and his newfound friends trek across America to find success in Hollywood, but a frog's legs merchant is after Kermit. Up 1 to 3, Superman. Superman brings you the gift of flight. An alien orphan is sent from his dying planet to Earth, where he grows up to become his adoptive home's first and greatest superhero. Non-mover at 2, 10. A tempting, tasteful comedy for adults who can count. A Hollywood composer endures a midlife crisis and becomes infatuated with a newly married woman honeymooning at a Mexican resort. Still at number 1, Alien. In space, no one can hear you scream. After investigating a mysterious transmission of unknown origin, the crew of the commercial spacecraft encounters a deadly life form. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.
Take me back to the 80s. Back then, summers they were lazy. Stepped up, knock on your door to see if you were coming out tonight. No FaceTiming people that I wanna see. I had them there standing right next to me. Blockbuster star, baby, Saturday night, get in line, oh. Playing tapes on my hi-fi. There were no issues with the Wi-Fi. MTV playing the hits with all the kids dancing